So we made it to church, and the whole time I'm driving here, all I can smell is this. You can't see it, but there's beef stew in there, and that's all I can smell. But yeah, let's head into church. At church there was a potluck, but wasn't able to eat any of the food. Feeling a little bit weaker, feeling like almost like you're sick a little bit, feeling a little bit lightheaded as well, almost like you have like this tiny little headache. Emotionally a little bit disgruntled most of the day, just feeling a little bit grumpier than usual. Spiritually, in a sense, it's a little bit interesting. I don't know how to explain it, but almost like when you're praying with a little bit more emphasis and connectedness to God, just so slightly. So yeah, that's day one done. So yesterday was actually really difficult to go to bed. I was watching all these videos on Instagram about food. Surprisingly, the ones about pasta were the ones that were the most captivating to me. It was hard. I ended up staying up quite late and just thinking about what it would be like to eat, to taste. And each time would be a parallel of this yearning. Instead of just yearning for food, yearning for God. And I think that's something that's interesting about fasting, is where you give something up, something that you rely on, something that you enjoy, but realizing and recognizing that there is someone or something much more enjoyable than just the sustenance that you need to eat. And there's someone that you need much more than what you think you need in food. Something also you might experience is that after you don't eat for a while, you might get liquid coming not out of just one end, but the other end as well. It comes pretty suddenly. So just be aware of that. Maybe 24 hours, 30 hours, 48 hours, it might happen. So be careful. So day three's been really tough. Like, I had to go to the mall today. Well, actually I didn't have to go, but I went to the mall today, check out the new Uniqlo store, and just walking around I started feeling tired. Even changing clothes in the change room, I felt tired. I had to sit down. So for the rest of the day, I think I'm gonna try to spend more time reading scripture, because even just in my own mind where I'm trying to pray or trying to think about God, it's been difficult. So having something there to focus on, I think will be helpful for me. And yeah, today's Halloween. So just even thinking about trick-or-treating with my kids today, just walking around, I'm like, I don't know if I can actually do that, or will I slow people down as I'm walking, and will I be able to keep up? So I'm almost contemplating not going. Yeah, that's how I'm doing. Not good. So it's the afternoon of day 5. Yeah, I feel like physically just like feel really tired, drained. Not as bad as day 2 or day 1, but it's almost like this baseline kind of tiredness. My hands even feel a little bit shaky. An interesting opportunity kind of came up where I can pulpit Phil. I could preach for someone else, where she was feeling really busy. So I just offered to see if she would allow me to preach at her church, and it's actually my old church. She said yes, and I'll be going there this Sunday. Something that I want to try. I want to try fasting the 7 days and then preaching after fasting. We'll see the results. Hopefully I can make it. So today's day 6. Feeling pretty good. Feeling just about as good as yesterday. Except yesterday night I was feeling a little bit hungry. I wanted to eat some of the Halloween candy that my kids have, but was able to hold off. So that's kind of where I'm at. Today was able to go to Stop Gap Coffee this morning for prayer. They do it every Friday at 6 a.m. I barely go, but the times that I'm able to make it and able to wake up, really enjoy just praying with brothers and sisters there. Yeah, so I just really wanted to see, would it be different? Would it feel different? Would it seem different spiritually or emotionally while I'm there after fasting for 6 days? And not really, it felt very ordinary in terms of praying there. I notice mentally now that after fasting for these few days, that I'm able to say no to a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have before. Tonight I'm going to be having dinner with a few friends, so yeah, just having to explain to them that I'm fasting and not eating. Yeah, it's always an awkward thing and always a weird thing that I try to avoid, because you never really want to put people in a position where they feel awkward eating in front of you when you're fasting. So this will just be one of the days, so that's fine. Something that I realized after just opening up that box and smelling the aroma of the sweetness in the fried dough, man, it's not that I just miss eating, but something that I really miss is tasting, because I could just smell how good it would taste. And it makes me think about that passage in Psalms where it says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good." And I really wonder what that would taste like, what that would feel like to taste how good God is. So the 7-day fast is finally over. Finally finished it. Had some days to just really reflect and think about how it went. Some things I learned about fasting, especially physically, is that it really takes a toll on your body. I know that day 3 and day 4, I was really struggling. It was really difficult. I was really weak. I felt like I couldn't go for a run. I felt like I couldn't run upstairs or walk upstairs or lift up anything heavy. So that's definitely something to be mindful of. Like if you have a manual labor job or any job where you have to be on your feet, moving around, lifting heavy things, I would definitely not recommend fasting for 7 days. I think another thing is to just really plan those times, those quiet times with God. Maybe it's a walk, or maybe it's a time in solitude or a retreat or something like that. Really enables you to direct your thoughts, your mind, your body, your spirit towards God, rather than all the other things that are happening in your life. You can easily just be sitting on your phone fasting, or you're sleeping while you're fasting and these kinds of things. But really being intentional really helps, so that you're not just finding yourself trying to endure till the very end of the time of your fast. Another thing that I learned through fasting was just the increase in self-control and discipline. Being able to say no to food all the time, especially when it's laying out there or wherever. You're just so used to just grabbing whatever and eating it. Something with fasting, you are trained to say no to everything in terms of food. So when something isn't beneficial for you, during that time of fasting, it's just easy to say no as well. And I think the after effects of it as well will help you say no to unhealthy choices. Spiritually, how it affected me, it gave me a lot of time to just spend with God, because you're cutting out all those meal times. Your whole day is not broken up by breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's just the day. So you can spend so many extended periods of time focusing. And if that's work, if that's school, or if that's prayer, or if that's God. I think that's a unique opportunity with fasting. And lastly, what I would say is make a considered effort towards prayer. When you have that time while you're fasting to direct your whole body, soul, your mind towards God, and just having those conversations with Him, or just even those silent times with Him, you're just there, right? You're sitting there, you're hungry, but then you're just present before God. I think that's something that God can really work within you spiritually. Maybe you won't see any results, but you being in His presence while fasting, I think is very powerful. This state of sacrificing yourself to Him. I think we've lost the practice of sacrificing something that we love or something that we enjoy to say that, God, you're better than this. I know I love this thing, but I give this to you because I love you. So would I do this again? I don't think so, probably not. If I were to do 7 days again, I would probably just do like a juice fast or something like that. Just because the toll that takes on your body, where your digestive tract is out of whack, or you're emotionally kind of feeling strange. I don't think that that's really that beneficial. I think the times where you could be praying or thinking about God, you're thinking about your emotional state, you're thinking about your physical state and how little energy you have, and you're sleeping all the time, and you're not feeling strong enough. So I think fasting while just drinking juice, you still have the time to spend with God a lot more. Your mind is still sacrificing the idol towards food, because juice isn't even that great. So I would definitely rather do that than just a straight water fast. So it's been an experiment. I learned a lot physically and emotionally and spiritually, but I think if I were to do it again, I would definitely do just a juice fast for sure. It's the end to my 7-day fast. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to answer them. And if you've done something like this before, I'd love to hear your experiences. But yeah, that ends this video, and we'll see where the Spirit leads next.